Hello, welcome back. It's Art of Cycling. I'm Greg Leach. That's me painting furiously, starting a new piece in the ongoing series of reinterpretations of paintings throughout art history. Got a whole list of them in my mind, but they're all working towards an exhibition I will have up in Newcastle at the Hoyt Art Center this coming March. But here we are working on a piece I hope you recognize. This is looking back at the Matisse's painting, The Dance. It has made an appearance once before in my artwork. The one piece that is included in the Virginia Museum collection of Virginia Museum of Fine Arts collection called Sleeping with Matisse, and you can see a couple who had fallen asleep at the museum. They actually had fallen asleep in front of a mother well, but the very bottom of the Matisse painting suited. So, in that piece, Matisse's, very much in Matisse's style, they're very simply drawn, and they're nude. And I thought we would turn it into people dancing at on the beach, clad in bathing suit. So I'm now, I've gotten in the very first stage, got the central figure or lower central figure's back, and now have been working on the woman to the extreme left. It was funny, I forgot to put the straps of her bathing suit top on. But sort of working through that now and sort of laying that in. I will try to remember in the next video to give you all a close-up. So just working in the armpit, the transition from her back to her rib cage. And just sort of trying to get that musculature. It's kind of amazing how infrequently you look at somebody's armpit. I'm sure there's a fetish site somewhere for that. But here I'm also now, in the Matisse piece, there's this sweeping arc that they're dancing perhaps on a hillock of grass with blue sky behind. I'm thinking at this point, as I stare and you look at my elbow, that I'll probably go with that same coloring. I'm not sure about that yet. But that's the thing. It's like, so when I was first laying this out, I looked at the Matisse painting. And of course, I'm very familiar with it, but I wanted to see some particular aspects of it. And then I set it aside because this is, my painting that I'm sort of inspired by. That's the best way to describe all of these. I'm working off of inspirations from paintings from art history. I am clearly not trying to copy any of the artwork. And I think I've talked about this before, but this idea came to me while I was working on a particular painting that I was well into the painting, and I was like, this seems familiar. And it dawned on me that the pose of the central figure happened to be of myself, was very similar to the position of the woman Christie in Andrew Wyatt's painting, Christie's World. And I said, well, why not do this intentionally instead of just having it pop up randomly? So that's sort of been, the motivation. And this exhibition will be all of the paintings, one from before I realized what I was doing, up through, as many as I can get done before March. Well, I have to deliver in February. So I'm just working now on her thigh muscles. I've just come off painting a lot of cycling, so I've been looking at a lot of strong legs, and she definitely continues that strong leg tradition I've been painting as of late. There are, I actually just posted the video before this, was a slideshow of all of my Tour de France, well, Tour de France Femme in particular was the most recent, and before that, the men's Tour de France. All of the watercolors I did of each race. So I hope you'll pop over and take a look at those. Of course, if you subscribe and get notified, you'll find out when all of these pop up. And you get to see both this painting as it moves forward in time and the all of my cycling stuff. I probably will only paint one more race. Yes, the Vuelta is going on now, but I traditionally don't paint the Vuelta. I really only have one tour in me per year. I can't do these 3 tours like many racers do. So, as I continue to work on this calf muscle, and again, because of cycling, she's got a really strong calf. I don't know which is more developed in cyclists, their calf muscles or their thigh muscles. So you can see that I'm practically standing on my head to paint this action. And part of that is every mark should help inform the shape of the figure. So by doing this practically upside down move, sorry you can't really see what I'm doing, but and so here now I've gotten down on my knees to get this other part of it in. But so the marks need to help follow and show the structure so that the heart-shaped calf is created by heart-shaped marks. And you can see I'm following that definition of the calf muscles down into the Achilles tendon, and then I circle around that to get the heel. I believe I'm now trying to decide where I go next. So you don't get to see what I'm looking at, but I do. Sorry about that. And so I think so again, now I'm changing my mind about where I want that arc, that transition between blue and green to go. Always, and this is one thing, I always paint standing up because it's important to get up and look at what you've done. And that's, if you're sitting in a chair, it's just that much easier to remain seated and not look. So now I'll switch this to the time-lapse video to show you as I move through. And I think I've decided now with the dark hair that I may carry that as a continued element through the painting. So of course laying in these arms here. And this is again time to remind you to subscribe, give a thumbs up. I'd love to know what you think about these paintings, and to make sure you check back to see the next installment.